Alrighty, folks, you know I got to give a big shout out, a big congratulations to all of you chairman members out there because you guys cashed in on 5 different premium selections on my premium site yesterday. That was Tuesday. We had the Mets, Phillies, Brewers, Orioles, and we also cashed in on a 2-team parlay featuring Boston and Cleveland. And the only way you could have accessed all of those winners, the only way you could have cashed in on all of those winners is to join my full access, all-inclusive chairman package. And once again, chairman members, congratulations to you. You guys deserve it. Keep up the great work. I can't tell you how happy that I am for you. Great job yesterday. And before we go ahead and move on, folks, just want to take a quick time out and welcome you to my Major League Baseball free pick video here today for Wednesday, July 3rd, 2024. Happy Wednesday to you. Happy Hump Day to you. It's technically Hump Day, although tomorrow's 4th of July, so I know a lot of folks will have off. This is kind of one of those weird weeks where, you got the holiday in the middle of it. So it's a Hump Day Wednesday, but I guess for a lot of you folks out there, kind of like a Friday. But anyway, my name is Brock Page. I've been dishing out free sports picks on YouTube since 2016. And if you want to see which one of these free plays on this video that I actually like the best, you may want to think about signing up for my Chairman package. Now, Chairman members get access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. And I tell you what, I'm 2-0. My last couple of crowd pleaser teasers, 5-0 in my last 5 Major League Baseball tier package plays. And finally, folks, I'm 4-0 my last 4 board member picks. And the good news is we have plays going off in all of those packages here today, and they're all included with your purchase of the Chairman membership. The site is patreon.com/BrockPage. And with that, folks, we're going to dive into some free content. We're going to start off with the Red Sox at the Marlins, 6:40 Eastern first pitch. Now, Boston's the $1.35 favorite on the road here. Total is 8 runs. Looks like Brian Bayo on the mound for the Red Sox, Trevor Rogers for Miami. And I'll tell you what, Rogers is having one crappy season for the Marlins. He's just 1-8 with an ERA close to 5. But even if he does have a good showing here today, which probably won't happen, but if it does, there is a fairly good chance he'll get little to no run support. Miami's currently the lowest run-scoring team in the National League. And they're going to face Brian Bayo, who's got 7 wins on the year himself, along with 64 strikeouts. But I'll tell you what, the dangerous part about Boston, well, it's their lineup of hitters, and more specifically, it's those hitters on the road. These guys definitely do their best hitting away from Fenway Park. I know that seems weird, but doing a great job away from home. Connor Wong, he's hitting .324. Rafi Devers has an OPS in the 900s. Give me Boston minus $1.35 over 8. All right, next contest. White Sox, Guardians, 6:40 p.m. East. Cleveland's minus $1.75. Totals 8.5. Gavin Williams making his debut for the Guardians. Eric Fetty for the White Sox. And, it's actually been Fetty and Crochet that's been a bright spot for Chicago this year. Actually, Crochet got the pitch hand award on MLB Central here today, and he definitely deserves it. Very good interview with him on MLB Network here today. Seems like a pretty cool guy. But Fetty and Crochet, they've been a lone bright spot for Chicago this year. Unfortunately, those guys have not been getting any run support. The White Sox are dead last in the league in runs per game, obviously the worst record. And they're going to face Gavin Williams, who had a decent 2023 season with the Guardians. This is his season debut, and he did some good things last year with them. He had an ERA of .329 through 16 starts last year. As far as this season's concerned, well, this Cleveland lineup, they're doing a great job of driving in runs. These guys are actually in the top 3 in runs per game at home. Jose Ramirez has the second most RBI in the bigs. Steven Kwan's hitting .362. Now, out of 36 ball games at Progressive Field, the Guardians have posted an impressive 27-9 record. Now, injury-wise, Will Brennan's out for the Guardians. Dom Fletcher inactive for Chicago. 6 out of the White Sox last 10 ball games fell under the total. They also saw Feddy's last 2 starts stay under the line as well. Give me Cleveland minus $1.75, under 8.5. We're taking that under, so do not want to lay the 1.5. We'll just keep the expensive price. All right, next game. Cardinals Pirates, little NL Central action here, 6:40 p.m. East. Now Pittsburgh's minus $1.20 in the Steel City here today. Totals 8 runs. Jared Jones on the mound for the Bucks. Miles Mikolas for St. Louis. And Mikolas is just 6-7 on the year with an ERA of 5.32. But even if he does throw well here today, the Cards are having a tough time scoring runs. They're in the bottom 5 in runs per game. Nolan Gorman bats .192 with 111 strikeouts. And Dylan Carlson, he has an OPS in the low 500s. And they're facing a good one in Jared Jones here today. The Pittsburgh starters struck out 93 batters along with a 1.10 whip. Now 6 out of Pittsburgh's last 10 ball games stayed under the total. Meanwhile, the Cards are 15-8 to the under against divisional opponents. Give me Pittsburgh minus $1.20, under 8. Next matchup, Mets-Nats, 6:45 East. The New York Mets are minus 130, totals 8.5. Christian Scott for the Mets, Mitchell Parker for Washington. And even though Parker's been a lone bright spot for Washington, I think he could find trouble here today. The Mets have been crushing the baseball on the road. New York's actually leading the major leagues right now in hits per game while traveling. Francisco Lindor leads the roster in hits. Pete Alonso's got the most home runs. And out of their last 10 gatherings with the Nationals, New York's definitely hit the baseball quite well. They've averaged 11 hits a game during that stretch. And unfortunately for the Nationals on the other side, well, they just haven't been good enough at the plate. Washington's in the bottom 10 in hits per game. They also have a losing record in their divisional home games. Now, injury-wise, Gallo's still out for Washington. Martinez, Nimmo, and Bader are questionable for New York. The Mets went 8-2 to the over in their last 10. Meanwhile, Washington saw 7 out of their last 10 get over the line themselves, giving the Mets minus 130, over 8.5. Next game, Reds-Yankees, 7:05 East. New York's minus $1.75, totals 8.5. Carlos Rodon for New York, Andrew Abbott for Cincinnati. And even though Abbott's thrown well, he's still managed to record 6 losses on this season. And of course, at the plate, the Reds just aren't doing enough. They're a bottom 5 hit-producing lineup. And they're going to be challenged here today by Carlos Rodon. The lefty's got 9 wins on the season along with 92 strikeouts. But even if Rodon has a bad day, he is backed by a powerful lineup of hitters. The Yankees are the second highest run-producing team in the major leagues. Aaron Judge leads the league in homers, RBI, and OPS. Of course, Juan Soto's hitting .300 with an OPS of .997. Now, injury-wise, Giancarlo Stanton's still out for the Bombers. TJ Friedel inactive for Cincinnati. When it comes to the total, the Reds are 13-8 to the under against the American League. And out of Abbott's last 13 starts, the under cashed in all of those contests except for 2. Give me the Yankees minus 175, under 9. Next game, Astros Blue Jays, 7:07 Eastern first pitch. Houston's minus $1.15, totals 8.5. Ronel Blanco for the Astros, Yusei Kikuchi for Toronto. And the Cooch man is just 4-8 with an ERA in the 4s. But even if Coochie eats today, he may not get the run support he needs. The Blue Jays are a bottom 5 run-scoring team at home. They're facing Ronel Blanco, who's 8-3 on the year with an ERA of 2.49. Now, the righty's also punched out 84 batters and has a 1.01 whip. Now, Blanco's also backed by a dangerous lineup of hitters. The Stros currently lead the league in hits per contest. Jose Altuve is batting .309. Yordan Alvarez has the most RBI. And out of the Astros' last 10 ball games, they average 6.9 runs a game. Now, injury-wise, Caratini and Tucker are out for the Stros. Kiner Falefa out for Toronto. When it comes to the total, the Blue Jays averaged under 2.7 runs a game in their last 10 gatherings with the Astros. And no real surprise here, folks. The under cashed in 70% of those meetings. So if you're into historical, trends, plenty of unders to go around. Now, Houston went 12-3 to the under in their last 15 Ronel Blanco starts. Give me Houston minus $1.15, under 8.5. Next contest, Giants Braves, 7:20 p.m. East. Atlanta's the $2 favorite at home. Totals 8 runs. Chris Sale for the Braves. Jordan Hicks for San Francisco. And Hicks comes into today's game with a respectable 3.36 ERA. Of course, as a pitching staff, the Giants are in the top 5 in strikeouts per game on the road. And they're facing an Atlanta lineup who does strike out a bit at Truist Park. As a matter of fact, these guys are in the bottom 5 in strikeouts per game at home. When it comes to cashing in on the run line, they've certainly had issues covering the 1.5. The Braves failed to cover in 7 out of their last 10 games. Now, injury-wise, Anderson and Harris are out for the Braves. Estrada and Flores inactive for the Giants. When it comes to the total, San Francisco's last 3 straight road games got over the total. They also went 8-2 to the over in their last 10. Give me the Giants plus 1.5, over 8. Next game, Phillies-Cubs, 8:05 Eastern first pitch. Philadelphia's minus $1.30, totals 8 runs. Zach Wheeler for the Titans, Shota Imanaga for Chicago. And as good as Shota's been, well, I'm just not sure he's going to get much run support here today. The Cubbies are currently in the bottom 5 in hits per game. And they're going to face Zach Wheeler, who's 9-4 with an ERA of 2.73. Now, the righty's got 112 punch-outs along with a .98 whip. Now, he's also backed by a top 5 run-producing lineup of hitters. Trey Turner's batting .338 with double-digit stolen bases. And Alec Boehm's got the 3rd most RBI in the bigs. Now, injury-wise, Harper, Realmuto, and Schwarber are still out for the Phils. Meanwhile, for Chicago, on the other side, Tauchman's still out for them. Now, when it comes to the total, 6 out of Chicago's last 10 ball games did stay under the total. They also averaged just 3.3 runs a game in their last 10 meetings with Philadelphia. So once again, if you're into historical trends, you certainly want to think about that one there. And of course, no real surprise, the under did cash in 60% of those head-to-head meetings I just mentioned. Give me Philadelphia minus 130, under 8. Next contest, Padres Rangers, 8:05 Eastern first pitch. Texas is $1.40 at home, totals 9. John Gray for the Rangers, Adam Mazur for San Diego. And even though Mazur stinks, the Pods do their best hitting away from Petco. They're averaging more hits a game on the road than any other lineup besides the Mets. Jurickson Profar bats .311, leads the clubhouse in RBI. Of course, Luis Ariz bats .320. And they're facing a Ranger squad on the other side who just doesn't want to win for John Gray. He's just 3-4 on the year through 76-plus innings. And of course, at the plate, the Rangers are a bottom 10 run-scoring team at home. Now, injury-wise, Bogarts and Tatis are still out for the Friars. When it comes to the total, 8 out of San Diego's last 10 ball games got over the line. Give me the Padres plus $1.20, over 9. Next game, Tigers Twins, 8:10 Eastern start time. Minnesota's minus $1.60, totals 9. David Festa for Minnesota, Keter Montero for Detroit. And through just 8.2 innings of work, the righty Montero already has an ERA of 9.35. And even at the plate, the Tigers really, they haven't been good enough. They're averaging only 7.6 hits per contest on the road this year. And, of course, they're facing a Minnesota club who won 7 out of their last 9 themselves. And they do a real solid job at the plate. The Twins are currently in the top 10 in runs per game. Carlos Correa bats .310 at the dish. Willie Castro leads the lineup in hits. When it comes to the injury list, Royce Lewis is doubtful with a groin. Matt Vierling day-to-day for Detroit. When it comes to the total, the Tigers did see 3 out of their last 5 road games get over the total. Meanwhile, Minnesota is 7-3 to the over in their last 10 themselves. Give me Minnesota minus $1.60, over 9. Next contest, Rays Royals, 8:10 Eastern first pitch. Tampa Bay's minus $1.20, totals 8.5. Ryan Pepio for Tampa Bay. Michael Wacha for Kansas City. Wacha's got an ERA in the threes along with a 1.25 whip. Of course, at the plate, the Royals definitely continue to hit well at Kauffman Stadium. They're averaging more runs a game at home than any other lineup besides one. Bobby Witt Jr. has 108 hits on this season, 55 RBI, and Salvi Perez has an on-base percentage of .346. And they're going to square off against Ryan Pepio, who's got an ERA of .440 himself, does not have a winning record. And of course, at the plate, the Rays are a bottom 5 run-scoring team in the American League. Now, injury-wise, Adam Frazier is out for the Royals. When it comes to the total, 8 out of KC's last 10 ball games fell under the total. Meanwhile, Tampa Bay's 7-3 to the under in their last 10. Give me Kansas City plus $1, under 8.5. Next game, Brewers, Rockies, 8:40 p.m. East. Milwaukee's minus $1.55, totals 11.5. Colin Ray for Milwaukee, Dakota Hudson for Colorado. Now, the righty Hudson's just 2-11 on the year with an ERA close to 6. Of course, at the plate, the Rockies are just striking out way too many times. They're averaging nearly 9.6 strikeouts a game. And we could see more of the same here today as they're going to face righty Colin Ray. He's 7-2 with an ERA in the 3s. Of course, at the dish, the Brewers are a top 3 hit-producing team. Willy Adames has the most RBI in the organization. William Contreras has the most hits. Now, when it comes to the injury list, Dunn and Sanchez are out for Milwaukee. Meanwhile, Bryan and Amador are out for Colorado. 3 out of the Rockies' last 5 at Coors Field got over the total. Meanwhile, Milwaukee, they went 7-3 to the over in their last 10. Give me the Brewers minus 155, over 11.5. Next matchup, Angels Athletics, 9:40 p.m. East. Oakland's $1.20, totals 8. Joey Estes for the A's, Davis Daniel for Los Angeles. And through just 8 innings of work this year, the righty Daniel struck out 8 batters. And he's yet to allow an earned run. Of course, as a team, the Angels did get the W in 7 out of their last 10. And they're facing an Oakland squad who lost 7 out of their last 10 themselves. And they definitely struggled to hit the baseball. They're averaging only 7.3 hits a game. That's nearly a league worst. Seth Brown hits just $1.89, OPS in the 500s. And Lawrence Butler hits just $1.88. He has a negative .3 WAR. Of course, on the mound, the righty Joey Estes, he has just 2 wins on the season and a 5.24 ERA. When it comes to the injury list, Toro and Ruiz are still out for the A's. Give me the Angels plus $1, under 8. Next game, D-backs Dodgers, little NL West action. That's a 10:10 Eastern first pitch. The Dodgers are the $2 favorite at home, totals 9. Gavin Stone for the Dodgers. Christian Mena making his debut for Arizona. And the 21-year-old Mena had 89 strikeouts this year at AAA Reno. That was actually through 16 starts. And he is backed by a solid lineup of hitters. Ketel Marte leads the lineup in hits. Christian Walker's got the most RBI. And they're facing a Dodger club who's definitely had a tough time cashing in on the run line. These guys currently have a losing record against the number at Dodger Stadium. And more specifically, they're covering in just 36% of their divisional home games. Now, total-wise, the Dodgers went 9-5 to the over in those very divisional home games I just mentioned. Meanwhile, Arizona is 18-10 to the over against the NL West themselves. Give me the Diamondbacks plus 1.5, over 9. And with that, folks, we're going to dive into our next and final breakdown for the video. O's, M's, 10:10 Eastern first pitch. Seattle's $1.20 at home, total 7. Logan Gilbert for Seattle, Dean Kramer for Baltimore. And even though Kramer's been a bit of a weak link in the starting rotation this year, the O's still have gotten the W in 5 out of their last 6. They're still playing great baseball. They're simply better at the dish than Seattle. Baltimore's currently leading the major leagues in runs per game. Gunnar Henderson's 3rd in the bigs in home runs, 4th in OPS. And of course, Adley Rutschman leads the clubhouse in hits. And they're going to face a Seattle club who lost 7 out of their last 10 themselves. And at the plate, the M's, they're just pathetic. They're dead last in hits, most strikeouts in the league. Now, injury-wise, Ryan Mountcastle is questionable for the O's. When it comes to the total, 3 out of Seattle's last 4 at home fell under the total. They also went 60% to the under in their last 10. Give me Baltimore plus $1, under 7. And with that, folks, we're going to jump into our quick pick recap. Give me Boston minus 135 over 8. Cleveland minus 175 under 8.5. I'm 5-0. My last 5 Major League Baseball tier package picks on my premium site. Pirates minus 120 under 8. Mets minus 130 over 8.5. Yankees minus $1.75 under 9. Astros minus $1.15 under 8.5. Giants plus 1.5 over 8. Phillies minus $1.30 under 8. Padres plus $1.20 over 9. Minnesota minus 160 over 9 runs. Royals plus $1 under 8.5. Milwaukee minus 155 over 11.5 runs. Angels plus $1 under 8. Diamondbacks plus 1.5 over 9. Give me the Orioles plus $1 under 7. And with that, folks, that's going to do it for me. Don't forget to check me out on my premium page. Now, if you do end up getting a membership here today on patreon.com/BrockPage, just a friendly reminder, you're going to get access to that membership every single day for the next 30 days. And as an added bonus, you're also going to get access to all of my cheaper memberships absolutely free. They're going to be included with your purchase. That's why I always tell folks that Chairman Package, it's a full access, all-inclusive membership. Gives you access to every single premium selection of mine, every single package, every single day for the next 30 days. But most importantly, folks, got to thank you for joining me right here on the free video. Really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. With that said, folks, happy Wednesday to you. Happy hump day to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my premium page at patreon.com/BrockPage.